What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. I don't know why my fans making all this crazy noise. Co-op.com, make sure you sign up. Abuamerican/shop. Get over there. So, I just want to talk about something, and this is from a masculinity point of view. We know that no one is coming to save you. I mean, who gets rescued? Children and women. And that's why women and children first on them ships and them boats and whatever else. When there's one life jacket left, the women and children get it. You know, if there's a fire, you're the last to get out, like you're not flammable or something. So anyway, we understand this. And so with this understanding, you have to understand also when it just comes to the real world as men, and this is where a lot of black pillars go wrong. You know, life is merciless and unforgiving to you as a man. Now, individually, obviously, we're going to have people that love us and they're going to, you know, they're going to care for us and they're going to take care of us and they're going to watch out for us. But in general, life is unforgiving and merciless. Now, there's two takeaways here. You have to be able to forgive yourself. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to be perfect. And, you know, I don't even like being around people who act like they're perfect. And you have a lot of people like that in the world. Like, they don't make mistakes. Like, things don't go wrong. Like, every time they're supposed to take a right, they took a right. And every time they're supposed to take a left, they're supposed to take a left. Nobody in the world like that exists. There's nobody in the world that makes all the perfect moves. And if they do, and they take credit for themselves, then they undermine, you know, how Allah has put blessings upon them as either, well, it could be a curse also. But here nor there, you have to be forgiving to yourself, but you also, like life, have to be merciless with yourself. That means forgive yourself from your mistakes, as long as you're not doing anything like illegal, you know. And even then, if you rectify yourself and you come to something correct, forgive yourself. But what's more important there in that regard is maybe getting the forgiveness, you know, not in the sense of like, you know, divine forgiveness from Allah, but forgiveness in the sense that, you know, maybe if you have a victim out there, you should maybe seek to, you know, forgiveness from them for whatever, you know, oppression you placed upon them. Nevertheless, you need to be merciless with yourself at the same time. Forgive yourself, but be merciless, because life doesn't stop. You know, if you go sit in the corner, cry it out, whatever else, you know, the clock is still gonna tick, you know, and so, you know, be merciless in terms of like, correct it, work hard on the correction, stay on yourself about the correction, but you know, whatever you need to work on, and you know, this could be religious, this could be, you know, your money, this could be your relationships, whatever else. Make sure you're merciless in trying to rectify and perfect, and understanding that perfection is very difficult, if not impossible, to attain in what you're trying to achieve. And make sure whatever you're trying to achieve is from higher, because we know my YouTube stalkers, they're gonna be in the comment section, oh, you're talking about something evil. You know, you know, they don't take husnul done. They don't think from the good position. They think automatically from the bad. 1 second, let me go through security. Yeah. So understand that you can't achieve perfection. Maybe you can, you know, in some areas, but you're a human being. You weren't designed to be perfect, I think, you know, but maybe you can achieve perfection in some things, but always strive for perfection. And striving for perfection is going to lead you to being the best in everything that you strive for, starting with the religion, of course. So the takeaway here and the lesson is, again, life is going to be unforgiving and merciless. Be merciless with yourself, but forgive yourself. Because if you don't forgive yourself, all you're going to have is nothing but a bunch of regrets and personal stress. You know, a lot of, you know, oh, dang, I should have, what if I, and you're going to have a whole life full of what ifs, instead of like focusing on, okay, that went wrong, learn the lessons, you know, and then use them as a takeaway to get better. You know, this is my main point. When everybody's like, oh, Abuamerican married a billion times, you know, why should we listen to you? You know, you've been married a billion times. You're the last person to listen to. Well, yeah, you know, I mean, it's true. I have been married a billion times. I made mistakes and I learned from them. You know, I didn't stop to think, oh yeah, well, I'm Mr. Perfect and all these women are messed up. At some point, I thought like, okay, I keep getting these divorces here. It's not everybody else, it's just me. And so I thought about what it is, and alhamdulillah, look at me. Whether you agree to how I got here or not, and I can tell you that's a story on its own, on how I turned to Muslims for help, at the beginning of this journey, and they turned on me, I can tell you that story. But that's what it is. And so in that story, I'm going to use myself as the example, as always. In that story, in that arc of a story that led me to where I am, all those divorces and whatever else, you don't think I have regrets and mistakes because you think I did it right every time? I can't, maybe I could talk with authority now, but back in the past when I was making the mistakes and I didn't realize I was making mistakes and it took me like a year to realize it, or maybe it took a week or a month or whatever else, or maybe I realized it real time, that's a bit different. So you always have those regrets, those second thoughts. Oh, I should have. Oh, what if? Blah blah blah. No, you got to forgive yourself from all of that stuff. Take the lesson. Just take the L. Sometimes you got to take that L, and you just got to ride with it. But you make sure you don't take that L twice. And then when you finally do get that win, I'm not saying go brag and gloat or whatever else, but be proud of yourself. Hey, you know what? Look where I came from. You do that in everything. And you're going to feel good about yourself, and you're going to understand why nobody can make me, and I'm speaking from a personal perspective again, so to give you an example, that's why nobody can ever make me feel bad about all my divorces, because I look at where I was, and I mean, whether y'all like to admit it or not, whether you love it or not, I'm a good looking guy. I can probably continue to get married until I die, and if I didn't feel like rectifying myself, I could just be, playing stupid in terms of marriage until I die. But no, I'm proud of myself. I got better, I rectified my issues, and then I took responsibility and accountability for the issues of the other people, the other person in a relationship, and recognizing them and front running those mistakes and whatnot. This is why the vetting guide exists, so that I can protect myself again. I'm proud of myself now. So, you can take whatever your L's are and you can turn them into a win for yourself. But you got to forgive yourself, and you got to be merciless with yourself. And being merciless with yourself requires being honest with yourself, which is you're not perfect. And I talked about that earlier. You have to start to admit that. But if you can't do that, then, get used to a life full of disappointment and regrets, self-doubt, whatever else. I see it all over the place. People will put on this front, publicly, that they're perfect. And then when you see them in the background, or you talk to them in the background, you're talking to a person that's an absolute just mess and a wreck. And obviously, this is a generalization. This doesn't mean everybody who acts one way is another way, but it's a pretty good indicator, because for some reason people think recognizing your own weaknesses is somehow a general weakness. No, you recognize your weaknesses and then you strengthen them, But anyway, this is your man Abuamerican.